But you acting like I'm gonna blow my whole stuff.
Hey, so this video is for you. It is for you, it's for you, and for everyone else. Every one of us that lived in a household where you were never good enough, you were never smart enough, you were never enough. You were never enough. If there's just one thing that you take from me, if there's just one thing that you chose to believe that comes out from my mouth, let it be this one. It's not your fault. It is not your fault. And you are, in fact, enough. It is not your fucking fault. And do you know, that's why the internet is such a blessing sometimes, because not only do we get to those of us that have already gone the way, we've already taken the steps, we've already cut ties, we've already been hurt ourselves, been broken and fixed ourselves. We've already gone the way, back and forth, up and down. We've been spiraling. We've come back to the ground, and we've realized that with however we did it, sometimes with therapy, sometimes without therapy, with the self-reflection, with help of other people, loved ones, chosen family, friends, whoever it may be, we've come to the understanding that it was in fact not our fault. So now we get to see people that are still in the midst of it, that are still there, that have still not been able to cut ties for personal, social, economical, financial reasons, whatever. So now we get to tell them that, in fact, it's not your fault. Because I wish I had someone to tell me that it was, in fact, not my fault. But it took me years into my adult life, into my life as a mother, for me to realize that I was, in fact, not the problem. So if you see this and you are living in a toxic household like this, you're living in a household that does not love you unconditionally, that does not support you the way you should be supported, the way you deserve it, that does not catch you and care for you and wrap you with unconditional love the way you deserve it, I just want you to know it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I can't fucking stress this enough. Because when you grow up, right from the moment you gain consciousness about your existence, yourself as a person, and the only thing you hear is criticism, it becomes your reality. It becomes what you see yourself as. And in most times, that's a failure. Anything around you that goes wrong, it's your fault. Anything or anybody around you making mistakes, things breaking, things happening, you will manipulate yourself and gaslight yourself to believe that even if it's fucking raining, somehow it's your fault. And that's not even far-fetched, because as children, I think most of us can relate when they used to tell us, oh, if you don't finish your plate of food, there's not going to be no sunshine tomorrow. And it's the little things. It's just a drop on the hot stone, but it's the little things. The manipulation, the emotional threatening, the emotional manipulation, the blackmailing, the whole gaslighting, everything in between. It all contributes. It's like a big puzzle that later comes together as the picture of the broken person that looks in the mirror and can find absolutely nothing good about themselves. Because anything that is good doesn't have weight, because the negativity has outweighed any probable positive contributes or attributes that one might have. So even if you look at yourself and you're like, hey, I actually did this really well, it will still not be enough, because you've been programmed to constantly doubt yourself. And I don't think we talk about that enough. I don't think we have collectively understood how fucking deep that is, and that it takes years upon years, and some of us never make it out there. To unlearn that, it takes years upon years to realize that you do not need to do all that. You do not need to hold yourself up to that unrealistic standard of someone else's narrative to be worthy. Like, take me for an example, okay? I'm 34 now. And I still hold myself to an unrealistically high standard. For example, let's use my role as a mother. I beat myself up for mistakes, quite literally, that it sometimes takes me days to overcome things. They can be minor things. They can be minor things. Even when I communicate that to my children, I apologize for whatever it may be. That can be as ridiculous as the shoes they wanted was not available, and maybe that made them sad because they're fucking kids, right? They get sad over a drop of rain on their nose. Okay, this is something that in my mind I'll be like, okay, you could drive 20-30 kilometers and go to the next store and check it there, and hey, what's another 10 kilometers more? It's not going to make a change, but you need to make it happen. And God forbid I cannot make it happen. And that's just barely scratching the surface. Anyway, you need to, however possible, get out there. That's the beginning. And I know that's easier said than done, because sometimes that's just not possible. It wasn't possible in my own situation. So when I was 17, I just packed up and left. And along the lines of that, I was subjected to a lot of shit, to say the least. But I have, since I was like 9, 10, always said I can't wait to be 18 so I can leave. And I wasn't quiet about this. I told anybody with ears that wanted to hear it, being teachers, bus drivers, neighbors, random people, even my own mother, like she knew. And she was like, yeah, me too. I can't wait for you to leave. That used to be her response. Ended up, I didn't wait till I was 18. At 17, I was fed up. I was fed up and left. And nobody called me back. And I attempted to leave twice prior to that, but I didn't execute it, because once I was 12 and the second one I was 15. So clearly I wasn't old enough. So the one at 17 was my final straw, and nobody called me back until this very day. So, and needless to say that left me broken, even more broken than before. But at the end of the day, I picked up my pieces. That's also easier said than it was actually done. And I had no choice. And many of us don't have choices. So many of us don't have choices. Because at the end of the day, constantly hearing that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, it doesn't just break you. Sometimes it's the reason some of us don't make it out alive. It's the reason some of us think suicide is better than continuing. So this is not just verbal abuse. It's so much more than that. So all I want to say is, one, if you find yourself in a situation like this, you're not alone. Because I know if you are in that darkness, sometimes the darkness is so fucking deep, the clouds around you are so fucking thick, you do not see no fucking light. And I can guarantee you there is light. There is light. Sometimes the darkness takes years. And I can not even promise you that once you see the light, the darkness might not come back. Because it certainly will. It will come back, and sometimes it will hit you so hard that you're confused. You're like, I thought there was light. What the fuck is this? It might come back, it will come back, and it feels like it's going to swallow you whole. But I promise you, the light keeps on coming back faster than before. But the main message I want to leave with this video is that the problem is the abuser. The problem is the abuse. The problem is the enablers. The problem is never you. The problem is never you. You're a child. You were a child. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be kept safe. You deserve to be encouraged, loved unconditionally. You deserve to be wrapped in love and in care. And you deserve to grow up in this pink bubble that you think the whole world is rosy and shit. But you didn't have that. And for that, I'm deeply sorry. But one day you'll grow and you can give yourself that pink bubble. And I know you'll get there. But don't you give up. Cut ties and leave. Sometimes blood is not thicker than water. And that's very unfortunate, but sometimes it's needed for you to be free.